Hi there, good afternoon. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET Now with me, Snehisha, and with me as always is Ankita Saxena. This is a show where we'll be taking you through all the big buzzers in today's trade, tell you why all of these stocks are on a tear today, what's giving them the boost in today's trading session, and we'll be doing all of this in under a minute per stock. We'll also be bringing on a technical guest today to talk about some stocks that are looking good on the charts right now. But before we do that, let's take a look at what the markets are up to today. It's been another stellar trading day for us. We're comfortably above the 22,900 mark for now. A 0.4% uptick coming in on Nifty. Looking good for our markets today.
Absolutely, Sneh. In fact, it is one of those days where you knock on the wood and say, I hope this run continues because it's been so good in the last three sessions. And today, of course, we managed to scale those 22,900 levels and we're comfortably above that those levels. Nifty Bank is where the outperformance continues on Nifty Bank. We are up almost 1% on Nifty Bank. Especially look at the PSU pack. If you couldn't pull up the names, we have a PSU pack doing very well, like India Bank, IOB, UCO Bank, Central Bank, Maharashtra Bank, PSB. They are all trading upwards of, they're all trading with gains of 3-odd%. In fact, all the PSU counters are trading in the green as far as PSU banking names are concerned. So banks are firing on all cylinders today. They have been outperforming in the last two sessions as well. Nifty Realty is the top sectoral gainer. We have names like Prestige that's up and away 6.5%. There's Lodha that's up 5%. Godrej Properties that's trading with gains of 3.6%. So Nifty Realty is also doing very well. Barring Nifty IT and FMCG, all the other sectors are in the green. Nifty IT, we had a note by Citi that was maintaining caution on the IT sector, and on the back of that, the entire IT pack is in focus. IT is declining with cuts of 1.3%. IT has been an underperformer in the last few sessions, also on the back of those recessionary concerns in the US. On the back of that, IT is reeling under pressure. But largely, it's a great day in the market, I would say, Snehi.
Absolutely, looking good, and of course, knocking on the wood today, and that's what today's trading session has panned out to be like. We're almost at the highest point for the broader markets, for the benchmarks. It's all looking good across the board today. Let's see if this run can continue, and now we have some visibility on 23,000. So let's see how soon we're able to scale that mark as well. But on that note, let me welcome Nagaraj Shetti, Technical and Derivative Research Analyst at HDFC Securities. He's going to be joining us on the show on the technical front. And from our in-house research team, we have Ravinder, who's joining us. Good afternoon to both you gentlemen, and let me kickstart the show, talk about a high flyer in today's trade, and one of many that is today, and that's first one is Vodafone Idea that we wish to highlight. The company has announced the launch of its 5G services in Mumbai, and Vodafone Idea's introductory offer prices for unlimited 5G for its subscribers start with plans of 299 rupees. Vodafone Idea has partnered with Nokia for the 5G rollout in Mumbai, and the company said it will continue to expand its 5G footprint across the country in a phased manner. The telecom operator also further stated that it is strengthening its network to meet the growing demand for high bandwidth applications like streaming, gaming, and real-time access. Now, other than this, we also understand from reports that the company is in talks with global SATCOM majors such as Elon Musk, Starlink, and Amazon's Kuiper for potential partnerships. This after Bharti Airtel and Reliance Jio recently announced their partnership with Starlink. So, two major news flows coming in for Vodafone Idea. The stock is trading with gains of more than 5% as we speak.
All right, moving on then from Vodafone Idea flying high on the back of that 5G news coming in. We're coming to you, Nagaraj. You picked out Intellect Design for us. This counter has been in a long corrective phase of almost 31-odd% correction that we have seen in the last 6 months. But it has, last 5 days, it has started moving up a little. Do you see a reversal coming in this counter?
Yeah, of course. Good afternoon, Ankita. Intellect has been in a sharp downtrend over the last few months, and on the chart we observe the possible formation of a lower bottom reversal somewhere around 645, 650 levels, and the overall chart pattern is indicating there is a possibility of a sustainable upside bounce in the Intellect in the near term. So I'm expecting this to move towards the next overhead resistance of around 770, 780 levels in the next 1 to 2 weeks.
All right, moving on then to the next counters that are in focus today, and that's Voltas and Havells. So now the shares of the air conditioning and refrigerator related companies, including Voltas and Havells, rose in early trade on the back of the fact that the government has exempted key components from the mandatory BIS certification, easing supply concerns ahead of an expected harsh summer. Now, the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, the DPIIT, has removed the BIS certification requirement for grooved copper tubes and air conditioning compressors of 2 tons and above, including those imported from China, according to a report that had come out in Economic Times. Now, this decision comes in response to the sectoral demands, and it aims to prevent the potential shortages as the temperature is likely to soar. Now, remember, IMD has also predicted a rather harsh summer. This time, the temperatures are likely to be more than the expected normal temperatures. And on the back of this, we see on the back of this report, we see Voltas and Havells India in focus, trading both upwards of 2%.
Okay, yeah, so big good moves coming in on that front. And other than Voltas and Havells, you also have Blue Star, Symphony, you have CG Power. All of these stocks are doing well on the back of this news flow. But Nagaraj, coming to you, you've picked out good industries for us on the charts. Tell us what the outlook is on the charts for this one.
Yeah, I couldn't hear your stock. Can you please repeat the stock?
Gujarat Industry Power, I believe that's the stock that you've picked out. Yes, exactly. GIPCL. Yeah, GIPCL has been in a consolidation moment over the last couple of weeks after the stellar downside of around 2 to 3 months from the higher levels. The chart pattern of lower tops and bottoms is now in the verge of a reversal. I'm expecting higher tops and higher bottoms to continue for the near term, and a decisive upside breakout of this triangle pattern somewhere around 175, 180 levels in the near term. Once it breaks above, then I'm expecting the next or resistance to be watched for the stock is around 190, 95 levels.
All right, that's Gujarat Industries on the charts. But moving on, then coming to you, Ravinder, you have picked out SAIL for us. Tell us what's the news flow here.
Well, as Steel Authority of India is in focus, where there's a news flow coming in where India has recommended a temporary tax of 12% on some steel product for 200 days, known locally as a safeguard duty, in a bid to curb imports, according to a government notice release published on Tuesday. And there are also a brokerage note coming in Steel Authority of India, where Axis Security has upgraded the stock to buy from hold and hike target price to rupees 130 from 115. They say that the spread are expected to improve slightly in Q4 FY25, and SAIL is highly sensitive to steel and cooking coal prices. They say that the next phase of expansion might bring higher leverage risk, which could limit major upside. Borrowings has decreased quarter basis, but the risk of rising debt remains. Axis Security says that the current stock is currently trading at 0.72 times 12-month forward price to book ratio, higher than its long-term average of 0.6 times, but still much lower than the recent peak of 1.24 times in May 2024. And with the recent dip in valuation multiple, the risk reward of the Steel Authority looks favorable, and the stock is up almost 4%.
Okay, so that's the take on that stock coming in. But Nagaraj, coming to you, you've picked out a stock from the defense space, Bharat Dynamics, and not only that, take a look at Cochin Shipyard, that's up 9%. Mazgaon Docks is anywhere up between 9 and 10%, and Bharat Dynamics also in today's trading session is up a good 7 to 8%. Nagaraj, why have you picked out this stock? Because it's been a while since we've seen some names from the defense sector sprucing up the way they have in today's trading session. What's the outlook on the charts going forward? Because last 6 months this stock is up in single digits. YTD also that's been the case. So what's the outlook going ahead?
Yes, defense packs have moved up very well in today's session, especially the BDL. The overall chart pattern was indicating that the recent downward correction was about to end, and the stock price is likely to bounce sharply. In the last few weeks, we have seen some evidence of bottom reversal and currently placed at the hurdle of down trend line resistance somewhere around 1220 levels. So overall chart pattern is looking still positive. I'm expecting more upside for this BDL in the near term, and decisive upside breakout is likely in the near term. So then next upside resistance to be watched for this stock is around 1400 in the next couple of weeks.
All right, with that, it's time for a quick breather. Do not go anywhere. After the break, we're getting you some more buzzers on the other side. Stay tuned.
Hi there, welcome back to Market Fatafat. Let's keep it going with all the stocks that are in focus in today's trading session. And the next stock in focus is Tata Communications. This is on the back of a brokerage note coming in from JM Financial, wherein they've initiated coverage on this stock with a buy rating and a target price of 2,030 rupees per share, indicating a roughly 35% upside to the current market price. Now, they expect the data segment EBITDA to grow at a robust CAGR of roughly 21% over FY24 to 28. They also highlight that the company has set ambitious target for FY27, but it is achievable with the help of inorganic growth or maybe with a year's delay. This is what they are pointing out for Tata Communications. So it's a mixed note coming in, but nonetheless, it's a buy initiation coming in from JM Financial with a target price that is 35% higher than the current market price. And on the back of that, the stock is doing pretty well, almost a 4% uptick coming in on Tata Com in today's trade.
All right, moving on then from Tata Com to Bank of Baroda. Nagaraj, you picked out Bank of Baroda for us. In fact, what a day to pick out this stock. All the PSU banks are on fire. In fact, Bank of Baroda is also doing very well right now. Tell us, what do you see on the charts for this particular counter? Do you see now momentum coming back into the banks in general as well? And what's your reading on Bank of Baroda?
Yes, I am expecting a PSU banking stocks to move up from here onwards. Thus, worst seems to be over, as well as in Bank of Baroda as well. What we can observe after a series of lower tops and bottoms over the period of time, the recent consolidation has eventually witnessed an upside breakout in the Bank of Baroda. Chartically, technically, it's very sound pattern is building up, and I'm expecting more upside in the near term. So the next overhead resistance to be watched around between 22 to 224 in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
All right, moving on then from Bank of Baroda to the next counter that is in focus, and that's Tata Motors. And Tata Motors is in focus today on the back of a note by Macquarie. They're maintaining an outperform on the counter with a target price of 826 rupees per share. It has given up those morning gains, has turned completely flat, nonetheless holding out in the green right now. Jella appears constructive on the US demand, and Macquarie also feels that post share price underperformance, the risk reward is now more attractive. The management is also confident on delivering the JLR's net cash balance sheet by March 2025, and the global players remain rather optimistic on the US demand. While China outlook is still uncertain, they have also added Tata Motors to a tactically preferred stock in the India list, and on the back of that, Macquarie is maintaining an outperform on Tata Motors. On the back of that, Tata Motors is in focus.
Okay, Tata Motors in focus and rather flat right now. But Nagaraj, you've picked out Shipping Corporation of India. SCI is the chart that you've picked out for us. Tell us what's the outlook on the charts for this one. It's a name that we don't usually discuss on the show. Last 6 months, the stock is low by a whole of 40%. So do you see the tides turning for this one? Do you believe that there are better days for the stock going ahead?
Yeah, I'm expecting turning of the tides because accumulation is going on at the lower levels, and the bullish pattern of inverted head and shoulders is about to in the process of upside breakout around 160 odd levels, and this stock is likely to break above 160 in the near term. So overall chart pattern is developing, bullish chart pattern is developing, and the next resistance once it breaks above 160 could be around 175.
All right, moving on from SCI to the IT pack. Indian IT is in focus today. In fact, it is the top sectoral loser for the day. A note by Citi that is maintaining caution. But tell us, Ravinder, take us through the details of the note. What is that note saying about the Indian IT pack?
Well, as Citi has come out with the note on Indian IT sector, where they remain cautious on the Indian IT sector. They think that the IT valuation are at high around 24 times at 1 year forward PE, especially given the global economic uncertainty. Even the NSE IT is down 16% YTD basis, and the US economic data points are to be tougher in near-term outlook. They expect revenue growth in FY26 to be around at 4% as similar to FY25, and the margin improvement will be difficult in a competitive environment despite some support from a weaker INR. They have upgraded the emphasis to neutral from sell after a sharp correction, and still prefer HCL Tech and Infosys over the large cap peers. So on back of this note, Nifty IT is down over 1%.
Okay, so Nifty IT is taking it on the chin today. That and FMCG are two of the losing sectors on the Wall Street. Everything else is in the green and looking good. Another stock that's looking good, Nagaraj, right now is Torrent Power, because this stock is also gaining in today's trading session. It's almost 5% higher as we speak. However, over the last 6 months, the stock has taken a little bit of a tumble. It's 22% lower. A recovery has been seen since the last 6 months, but nonetheless, do you believe that there could be some faster recovery for the stock on the charts going ahead?
Yes, Torrent Power has been in a larger consolidation phase over the last few weeks and currently placed at the upper end of the consolidation. There is also a strong resistance of 200 EMA, and the overall chart pattern with the RSI and the volume building up is indicating that there is a higher possibility of an upside breakout of this 200-day EMA somewhere around 1460-70 levels. So whole chart pattern is looking positive for this power stock, and the next hurdle to be watched once it breaks above that 1560 to 1570 levels.
Okay, so that's the take coming in on Torrent Power and the important levels to watch out for. On that note, let's talk about a stock that's doing okay in trade today, and that's Ultratech Cement. Now, recent news flows come in just a few hours ago. The company has said that it has commissioned a combined capacity of 1.2 million tons per annum at its Hirmi plant in Chhattisgarh and Roorkee unit Uttarakhand. So, two plants as part of its capacity expansion programs. The Chhattisgarh-based integrated unit has commissioned additional capacity of 0.8 MTPA, and the grinding unit located in Uttarakhand has commissioned 0.4 MTPA additional capacity. Consequently, the company's total domestic grey cement manufacturing capacity now stands at 178.86 MTPA, and if you take into stock its overseas capacity of 5.4 MTPA, then the total global capacity is at 184.26 metric tons per annum. So on the back of capacity expansion across two of its plants, the stock is doing pretty well. 1.6% higher is where the stock is trading right now.
All right, moving on then. Nagaraj, coming to you, you picked out Nalco for us. Tell us what do you see on the charts for this particular Kanda. It's trading with cuts of 1.5% as of today. It also in the last 1 month it hasn't really done much, though in the market fall. We see an uptick of 2%, but from here on, what do you see on the charts for Nalco?
In the Nalco, actually, last couple of months, decline is about to verge on the verge of upside breakout. The stock stock is currently placed at the strong intermediate uptrend line resistance support around the 750 levels. I think this strong support and the overall bullish chart pattern is indicating some upside bounces, suggesting some upside bounces in the near term. So once it moves above 830, 835 levels, the next upside hurdles to be watched is around the 950 in the next 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay, so those are the next levels to watch out for on Nalco. But on that note, I'm afraid we're completely timed out on this edition of Market Fatafat. Davinder as well as Nagaraj, thank you so much for tuning in. But viewers, on that note, we'll wrap it up. From Ankita, me and the team that put the show together, thanks so much for watching. But stay tuned to ET Now for more news and updates.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.